This is MJ. I wanted to go over a little bit of my process for developing the first character, the flagship character for the Holy Heroes project that I'm working on. And I decided, because I'm going to be making this lady a angel noir superhero in the vein of the Shadow and other characters, that I'd talk about real quick the influences for her visual, for her appearance, why she looks the way she does, what characters she's based off of, and how I'm trying to blend that with, the biblically accurate angel concept. And so I'm about to get into that. My interest in this type of a character definitely has to do with the red panda. So I have here a picture of the red panda and the flying squirrel from Gregg Taylor's Dakota Ring Theater Red Panda character show project. There's about 120 episodes of the audio drama. There's, I don't know, four books total, 4 novels, pulp novels. And, I very much want this character, I'm just going to call her Angel for right now. I very much want this Angel character to be in line with those, because those shows and that set of characters have given me a lot of entertainment over the years. And I like the ideas that go with that. They're blending the old school aesthetic, like crazy, deep future science type stuff. They have anti-magic science that they use and things like that. And while her power set will not be based on technology, it'll instead be based on kind of a supernatural gifting that she has, or her supernatural talent that she's given or has within her. I still wanted to look at Red Panda and look to the old school mystery man look for inspiration for what exactly she should look like. So she's in California in the 20s, I'm thinking, Southern California in the 20s. So I kind of wanted to use these like 1920s characters as a baseline for her. So that's what I did. And I think you can see in my first sketch, I have a character in like a fedora and a trench coat, which is very much in line with what Red Panda wears. Much of the Red Panda series draws inspiration from the Shadow, so I decided to go ahead and look back at the Shadow as well. And he barely has a costume. I believe his face transforms, at least in the Alec Baldwin movie, they said that his face transforms. But actually, he either has his face transformed, like in the books, or he assumes different identities, because the Shadow is actually a lot deeper and more complicated than I had originally thought. I thought it was just the radio guy, and it turns out it's a little deeper than that because of all the Shadow magazine pulp novels that were published as well. They go through a whole lot of stuff. So, but again, he's got the hat, he's got guns, and he's got this long bandana that he wears, or it's like somewhere between a bandana and a scarf, a red one that covers from his upper lips, under his nose down. And I kind of seized upon that for part of my design because it just seemed cool. It seemed like a neat feature, and I had decided to probably abandon the hat by the time I was making this design. So I was trying to figure out different things I was going to do. I was thinking about having a birdcage veil and all sorts of different things. But eventually, I actually did kind of warm up to the hat because of the next influence. I recently read The Curse of Capistrano, which is the original Zorro book. And while I have enjoyed like the Zorro cartoon as a kid and the Zorro movies with Antonio Banderas also as a kid and as a younger adult or teen or whatever it was at the time, I really loved the book. It was amazing, and I think I might be a Zorro fan now. But regardless, something about the way his mask was described in the book, it's not what you typically see on Zorro in the movies or in any imagery. It's a little creepier and sinister. It's more like this thing that's hanging off of his face, completely concealing it. The way it's described in the book, that's how I understood it. So I wanted to give that to this Angel character, and I actually gave her a Zorro type hat and cape. She doesn't have a whip. She doesn't use a whip, but I did think, she's a Mexican lady living in Los Angeles, and one of the things that was really cool about Zorro was how much it talks about all the different places in Southern California, the missions, basically. But I'm kind of familiar with those places, and it's just weird to see them talked about or dealt with in such a way. And it kind of inspired me to maybe look into the historical context of the Southern California area and use that for this character as well. Of course, she's going to be set like, I don't know, 40 to 60 years after when Zorro would have been. So I think that'll give enough distinction, even if she is in all black and kind of takes after him in some ways. So taking all of those together, the Shadow, the Red Panda, and Zorro, and then kind of contrasting them or comparing them, setting them next to a biblically accurate angel. The first angel we get is in Genesis, I think 3. It's a cherubim. It's described as having a fiery sword that spins around that it uses to protect the way to the tree of life. And later on we get cherubim that pop up in, I can never remember if it's Ezekiel or Zechariah. I believe it's Ezekiel 1 and Ezekiel 11, but I'll put that in the notes. And anyway, in the original appearance of the cherubim, it is not described at all, other than it's an angel, and the flaming sword detail, like I said. But later on, it's described in 2 different ways. It's described as having 4 wings. The wings kind of cover the body. There's 4 heads on it: an eagle, a bull, a man, and a lion. And besides that, there are these wheels that appear next to it, and it's like, to me it sounds like it's wheels that are perpendicular to each other, so one goes one way and one goes 90 degrees opposite the other way, and one wheel's inside of the other, and it's covered in eyes. And then later on, the cherubim is described, I believe it's in the 11th chapter as opposed to the 1st chapter, as having wings, or wings covered with eyes, and possibly the body covered with eyes. So these there's like a traditional classic depiction of an angel here, just with a regular sword that I've showed you, and then there's one like more modern, I don't know, from a video game or an anime or something like that, and it's got all these eyes all over it, which is a pretty cool concept. So I wanted to blend that in with her design and see if I could get, a fiery sword and eyes on her on this design that's a little Zorro-esque, a little simple. She'd be wearing like a dress with regular lace-up boots, like that anybody could put together. And I tried to keep it fairly grounded, except for it will have the fantastical element of she'll have a literal flaming sword that she'll be able to wield, which I think is pretty cool. So bringing it all together, I've got this fairly subdued design. She's wearing a dress with a scalloped edge on it, or scalloped hem on it. She's got lace-up boots. She's wearing leggings and gloves. Her dress has little scalloping at the at the cuff as well, which is something you'd see in an older older manner of dress. And I think it's going to be black and white, and I kind of like that high contrast idea for this character. Not necessarily blending into the shadows, but just kind of being operative during the night mostly, but maybe not exclusively at night, but just seeing her at night in all black and white with a flaming sword, I think would look really cool. To make a striking visual for a comic book. It'd make a striking visual to describe in a novel, I think. And I want this character to be able to serve in both worlds. And even if I were to describe her in an audio drama, I would want the description to be similarly really neat and interesting. One last thing to incorporate the idea of the eyes being all around this angel, I decided to give her this prayer bead type belt, because I feel like being, based off an angel, having prayer, some symbology of prayer associated with her would be cool. And also, if you look closely at these, they've got a black dot in the middle of them. So they're these balls that are these like oversized prayer beads that basically look like all eyeballs. They're white with black. I think it'll just be two-tone white and then black. So I think that's pretty cool, pretty striking, and it's a lot of fun. Maybe she can use them she can like roll one after somebody to spy on them or something like that. I'm not exactly sure. So I'm pretty satisfied with this Noir Angel Lady design. I am probably do some tweaking and some reiterations on it, and I'll document those as well. But let me know what you think about this design and about the combination of all the influences that I put into it. I'd like to hear anybody's opinions on her. So that's it. This is MJ signing out. This is a part of the Story Over Everything endeavor.